Hi, let's continue with part 2 of removing the HP LaserJet 1320 fuser. Let's remove 3 screws right there. These screws actually hold in the fusing assembly, and that's what we're doing right now, is we're just starting to approach removing it. Again, it's hard to believe that that this fuser is this time-consuming to remove. Okay, let's work from the back now, and we can start to remove some of these wiring harnesses also. So let's unplug the yellows that are feeding through all this wiring harness. And again, watch how you pick these up. You want to be real careful with them. And what we're doing is we're going to actually remove this plate right here, this black plate. And that's going to give us room to remove one more plug. Again, try to remove your wires and keep them organized. Okay, this black plate, you just want to lift up on the little push lever, lift up on it, push it to the right. Now you're going to see 2 more larger connectors. We want to remove both of these. This is where I'll use my pick tool and unplug them. Or, you could use a flat blade. And there we go. Okay. Now let's go ahead and work on this side of the machine. We're going to be actually removing some stuff off the drive gear side now. And try to keep all your screws and everything. Let's remove the little cover plate at the top. 1 black screw. And this plate comes right off. Okay, let's remove the fan. 2 screws. 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom of it. And the fan is going to be held on with a little spring clip that has to be removed also. And you can unplug the solenoid, get the wiring harness out of the way, and I just start off at the top and remove this little piece of metal that kind of, I think it's more of a vibration than anything. You don't have to unplug that, you can just let it hang. Okay, now let's remove the 2 silver screws next to this plate assembly right here. And what this is going to do is start to give us access to more screws and to start getting this fuser ready to remove it. 1 on the top right. Yeah, this is really bizarre on how they got this little guy buried in here. Okay, I'm going to keep my finger on this plate because at this point in time I'm going to gently pull it off, and you might get some gears that might fall off. So I'm going to give you a presentation of what this should look like, just like this. And if this black gear falls off, it just simply slides back on, and these gears got little bushings that they'll slide into. So there's a good visual in case something happens to your gear driveline and parts just kind of fly everywhere, which could happen. That's why I like these videos to be what they are, because you really need to see this stuff. Let's remove the white gear right here, and let's remove the driveline gear for the fuser right there. And you can put those to the side. Now we got some more screws. Let's remove this guy right here. And 1 right below the driveline gear on that shaft. There's 1 below. And that should be it. Okay, now what we can do is I'm going to close out. I'm going to bring this out a little bit so you can see this. Now I'm going to turn the printer around, and we're going to actually remove the fuser now. What you can do is actually bend the metal back on the frame, and because it's kind of held in on a let's remove this black top piece to the fuser. It slides right off. That's why we had to remove the drive gear. Just pick it up on the right side and lift it off. It's part of the exit assembly, and we can kind of pull forward on this right now. If all screws are out, hopefully I didn't miss any. And it looks like we're good. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 more. I knew I forgot 1. And that's all part of it. Black one down at the bottom. This fuser is held in by about 3 or 4 screws in. And you're going to have a silver one on this side, which we already got. Okay. Now this fuser is ready to come out. Everybody likes to bend the frame a little bit, just like that, on both sides. See, I'm pushing my hands on it, and there you go. Got a little grounding contact. It'll come off. Just pulled it off. Now, the fusing assembly itself is definitely something that could be re-sleeved at this point. I'm not going to show that procedure. It does require the fuser to be disassembled. Maybe at a later time I'll do this procedure. But at this point in time, what you would want to do is kind of get your wiring harnesses all straight and go ahead and grab your new fusing assembly and get it ready to to reinstall. And that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to cut this video off, and we're going to go into part 3 in a minute.